Canas podcast. We talk sports.
I'm not even gonna react. I'm not gonna react.
Welcome to the Canas podcast, episode 50.
Hell yeah!
It only took us 3 weeks to get from 49 to 50,
And it took us probably
it took
a
us
year and a half.
a year and a half
2
to get to
years.
50.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you to. I'm looking at our views. We have like 3 to 5 views at every episode. So shout out
Thank you to the 3 viewers that are watching our.
I think we know
episodes.
exactly who they are too.
Yeah,
We just
that
call
too.
them. Next episode, we will call you out.
Sooner or later, when we put it on Spotify and when we make a video, then it'll be
I'm sure.
probably a lot more.
Yeah, but we'll always remember the OGs.
Yeah, the
Boys,
OGs.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Today, well, I mean, there's so much to talk about that we've missed.
Yep.
I think we'll miss, mainly focus on, the distant, or the near past, I guess, and the present, I guess. I don't know, basketball, nothing really new. Like, the Raptors are not really much in contention. They're fighting for a play-in spot, but they're not going to go far in the playoffs, if even make the playoffs. Blue Jay season is starting up. Canada did decent in the World Baseball Classic. They ended up losing to Mexico.
But did you see the championship game?
That was pretty cool.
That was pretty sweet.
That was pretty cool. That's how you market your stars.
Yep.
You have the best pitcher and the best batter from the same team, but
And
different countries going against each
hear
other.
McDavid's
Yes.
response to that kind of question?
Yes. That's something we've been asking for hockey for the longest time. The best on best tournament to really market our game. Oh, Gary Bettman, are you listening? No, because you're an idiot.
No, because I don't want you guys to get injured and blah 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 for the owners and stuff.
Insurances.
Yeah.
Anyways, so dumb. I learned something recently. I was googling what's worse, an idiot or an imbecile. What do you think is worse?
An idiot or an imbecile?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say imbecile.
Imbecile sounds worse, right? But an idiot is somebody with an IQ of 0 to 24.
An
imbecile is 25 to 49.
Oh,
so if you call somebody an idiot, that's the worst kind of insult.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So Gary Bettman's an idiot.
Went from imbecile to idiot.
Yeah. Because I thought imbecile was worse. So actually, I think that's who it was directed to. I was trying to insult Gary Bettman, and I researched stuff and I learned something. So thank you, Gary, for being an idiot. And then, so baseball, World Baseball Classic went pretty decent for Canada. The final was unreal, such a good game. And the Blue Jays are reporting for spring training. They're in the top 10 favorites to win the whole thing.
So they're not first?
No, last I saw them, they were 6th or 7th.
Well, that's still pretty respectable.
It's not bad. I mean, but considering their arms, they got worse out in the batters. Just they lost 3 guys and they added 1. So that's obviously just process of when that's
I guess you never know. Anyone can get
they just need their arms
year.
to be good. They need Kikuchi to play just half decent, actually a rotation arm, and then I think they should be fine. Because Manoah's good, Gossman's good, Barrios needs to step up a little bit, Kikuchi, and then I don't know who their 5th starter is going to be this year. I'm sure. I think they signed somebody. I just can't remember. But. And then, after that, not much really else about baseball to talk about. Golf, we had a Canadian in the quarterfinals of the Dell Match Play tournament. Nice. So that was pretty cool. He ended up losing to Sam Burns. It was Mackenzie Hughes. Very impressive. We had 3 Canadians in the group play. Corey Connors finished 2nd in his group, which was really nice to see. Hadwin finished dead last. And then Mackenzie Hughes made it out of his group, won the round of 16 match, and then ended up losing. He beat Max Homa, world number 5, in the or number 6, I think, because Cam Smith is number 5, and he's not allowed in the PGA anymore. And then tennis is going on. The Canadians are not doing anything impressive right now. That's not very surprising. They've got so much talent. It's just not coming to fruition for them.
Yeah.
And then we're getting into the playoff push. Every team has played 70 to 73 games. In the play for the NHL, and we're getting into that last little push to make the playoffs. And sure enough, it looks like Calgary's going to miss out. And
kind of surprising.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
But there's so much turmoil in that dressing room right now, apparently. So that's been fun for me to see, to be honest with you. I've been very happy about that. It looks like it'll be Canadian teams representing will be Toronto in the East. They're going to have a very tough first round matchup against Tampa Bay.
Oof, yeah.
Again. And then it will be Edmonton and Winnipeg, out of the West, barring any monumental collapse from either team. But Winnipeg's in the driver's seat. Edmonton's significantly more in the driver's seat. I think they're 4 points ahead.
I think they're way more.
Well, 4 ahead of Winnipeg.
But
I think Winnipeg's at 86. We're 91 now, I guess, because we have the OT loss yesterday. But anyways, like we're in the driver's seat. The hottest teams in the league have been out of the Pacific Division this year. Right now, the hottest teams over the course of like the last few games.
Yeah,
it's been the Kings. They're 9-0-2 in their last 11. The Knights are 9-2-0 over the last 11, and the Oilers are 8-2-1 over the last 11. Like those are some of the hottest teams in the league.
I think
right now.
I saw a graphic where since January 1st, I think the top 2 teams that or January 11th, I should say, top 2 teams that got like the most points from since then was Edmonton and Boston with like 45 or so.
Yeah, like the Oilers have been, on a streak for a longer time, but we've also had some howlers of games. Like I think our last 3 games that the Oilers have played were not good. Like they were awful against San Jose. They looked horrific against Arizona, and they were below average against Vegas, from my understanding. So, yeah, it was. This isn't the time to lower the game. The Ekholm trade has been a godsend for this team. Ekholm's defense has made Bouchard better, and just made
it made him more relaxed. Let him do whatever. Yeah, not whatever he wanted, but like lets him be more offensive. A little bit more freedom,
knowing that he has a solid guy defending him in the back, right?
And looking in the standings, you're right. Edmonton is 6 points in front of Winnipeg, but they're 10 in front of Calgary, who is next for the wild card spot. So.
Yeah, so I don't know. I would almost rather finish in the first wild card spot and avoid any of Vegas or LA until the conference finals. Because the first wild card. I mean, no, it's probably Minnesota in first, isn't it?
Minnesota or Dallas.
Minnesota's not a team that we can play. Dallas is a team that's a very friendly matchup for the Oilers, but Minnesota is a team that Oilers can never play against. Anyways, the playoffs brings stuff out. I like, the West has looked a lot weaker than the East all throughout the season, but I think the West is looking a lot stronger heading into the playoffs in the East. Yeah. I mean, apart from Boston. My hot take, though, I don't think Boston makes it out of the first round.
Really?
I think Boston somehow finds a way to lose. They definitely, I don't think, are going to make it out of the Eastern Conference for the finals. I definitely don't think that. It's just a weird gut feeling that I got. I think
that's a weird gut feeling, though.
I think Carolina's a better team, except now that they lost Svechnikov, that's really tough for them. But I definitely like the Rangers with Kane. I think the Rangers get out.
Well, the Rangers probably would get out, but if the playoffs started now, they'd be facing Pittsburgh, Boston. So, you think they won't make past the first round?
I think Sidney Crosby is better than every single player in Boston right now. I think, correction, maybe Pasternak is about this. Pasternak actually might be better.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But I think Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin are
it's either that or, the Islanders, because their point difference is 1 between Islanders and Pittsburgh, so... Do you still think they won't make it past the first round?
I think they're going to go to 7. I don't think it's going to be that easy for them. And I think if you go to 7, it'll be... there's a chance you'll lose in 7, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think everybody's talking about how incredible Boston is, and they are. They're an incredible team. But all year, they've been playing 1-1 between Ullmark and Swayman. Playoffs is going to be all Ullmark. So it's going to,
it doesn't have to be all Ullmark. It could just keep playing Ullmark and Swayman.
Yeah, they will. No, there's no way Swayman plays. If you look at his save percentage across different areas of the ice, there's this analytics page that I follow on Instagram. He has below average save percentage in 4 out of the 5 spots on the ice. If you just look at that, and I don't know, I think he's a heck of a goalie. I think he's better than all the backups in the league, to be honest with you. But I think that's what he is. I think he's a backup. I don't think he's gonna. It's playoff hockey. It's gonna be completely different. So okay, let's focus on the 3 Canadian teams and our current matchup. So Oilers would play LA. Winnipeg, I think, would play Vegas. Yeah, Vegas. And Toronto would play Tampa. Who do you think has the best chance of getting out?
Oilers.
I think LA is the best opposition of all of them.
But we seem to play decently against LA, and we did beat them last year. So
that's true. The only thing is that it was a worse LA team than they were this year. A younger LA team that they were this year.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no Drew Doughty last year. There will be Drew Doughty this year. LA's had our number.
But we seem to always have Drew Doughty's number anyway.
LA's had our number this whole season.
That's like in the past, like
Korpisalo, and they've also had worse goaltending earlier in the season. I'll be interested in how we play the next few games against both LA and Vegas. I think we've had Vegas' number this season, apart from last game.
Yeah.
But this also is now a much better Vegas team as well. But how did Vegas play yesterday? Did they play really well, or were they just good enough to win?
They were just playing like Vegas. They were pretty good. I didn't see anything like remarkable, but
did they make any glaring mistakes? Like the Oilers' goals, how were they?
I think apart from like 1 or 2 that resulted in a goal, they played pretty decent. So I don't know. I guess we'll just see what happens.
Oh,
it's interesting because like you said, like LA improved. We also improved slightly with our defense, but we just have to not let our foot off the pedal and just keep going. Like playoffs are a different story, and you've seen last year with McDavid and Draisaitl.
They led the league in playoff scoring, and they were out in the
conference finals. Yeah. And then now that we have a pretty decent or a slightly better defense than last year, and with like more confidence with Skinner in that, if he keeps playing like he is playing, besides last game, then we should be fine. Like I said, we just can't let up. We just have to keep going.
I would agree.
And what would be Winnipeg versus Vegas?
I don't think Winnipeg makes it out.
I think
Vegas is just way too.
They've been in a slump lately too. Winnipeg.
The only thing that the only question mark that I have in that series is Hellebuck. Like, he's one of the top goalies in the world. And Vegas is Quick. Like, Quick, if he plays at his best, but even Quick was standing on his head last season in the playoffs against the Oilers, and we still found a way of beating. Yeah. We scored 7 on him one game, I think, right? Like, yeah, like Vegas, I think Vegas should definitely win that game. They have more talent in the back end.
They're just more balanced.
Yeah, they're a very balanced team for sure. And then oh no, they're gonna get players back during the playoffs. Like, isn't Mark Stone out right now?
Yeah,
like the Kucherov IR play. They're getting 2 or 3 solid players back in the playoffs, so that's gonna be interesting. Yeah, the NHL needs to do, like, what's the point of a salary cap if you can just dump everybody on LTIR and then
bring them back because there's no salary cap in the playoffs?
Yeah, like, what's the point of that? They should include a salary cap in the playoffs.
They should just keep it throughout the whole year, not 100%. just regular season. And then Toronto and Tampa. Even though Toronto has more points than Tampa, I still think it'll definitely be tough unless Matthews starts to wake up.
Until Toronto wins a playoff round, I will never say that they will win the round. Like, until they've shown me that they can do it. They've been the favorite in like so many years in a row, yep. and they still lose, and they find a way to lose. They were up 3-2 going to home game. No, they were up 3-1 last year, weren't they? Or was it 3-2 after a big home win? No, they were up 3-2 because they won in Tampa. They came back to home, up 3-2 in the series, lost. So tied 3-3, went to Tampa and lost in Tampa.
Yeah, and I think you were thinking about the 3-1 with Montreal in the bubble there.
That was a disaster.
How do you lose to Montreal when you're up 3-1 in the series?
Just brutal. Yeah, and I mean, until they show...
Yeah.
On paper, they're a really good team. They're a much better team than the others. That said, the goaltending is the biggest question mark there, too.
Yeah.
So, in a negative way, the goaltending is the biggest question mark for Edmonton and Toronto. And in a positive way, it's for Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Right? Because, Hellebuck is, for me, a top 3 goalie in the league.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely.
I would definitely take Hellebuck over any goalie on the Canadian teams.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so who's your biggest disappointment of the Canadian teams then? I think I'll give a different answer than you. But who's your biggest disappointment amongst the Canadian teams? And then maybe pick out one player as well.
I would probably say I'm trying to think not your answer.
I have 2 answers, so just go with whatever you want.
Because I have 2 answers too.
Okay.
One was my first answer is Vancouver. Because... because they have Thatcher Demko, who is a really, really good goalie. And besides their defense, they have... on paper, they had a really good... forward group, and then for some reason they just couldn't I guess live up to expectations, and now they're just in the middle, so they might not even get Connor Bedard either, so it's either they're in the middle, now they're screwed basically. So
all right, and then that's not which one I had at all. Okay, what's your other one?
My other one was Calgary.
100%.
Yeah.
Who's your biggest disappointment in Calgary? The players.
Markstrom.
Yeah, for me it's Huberdeau. But
I was gonna say Huberdeau, but it was Markstrom
as well. Those two is just Markstrom.
Because you expect a lot from Markstrom because he's really good too.
So last year, if they had his save percentage from last year, this year they'd be top place in the Pacific pretty much. That's just how good.
All you have to do is just not face Edmonton in the playoffs, and then they could have gone pretty far.
Yeah, seriously. They could have easily rammed past a bunch of different teams. Yeah. But I don't know. I guess Edmonton just completely took every ounce of confidence out of him.
Out of Markstrom, yeah.
Seriously, I don't know what's happened there. Well, so I envision them having a big bounce back year next year. I think
they have to, because they wasted a lot of money on Huberdeau.
Well, I think Sutter's gone after this season.
I think so too, yeah.
And I think I think they get a new coach, gets the best out of their players, and Calgary is a legit threat next year. I think 5 Pacific teams make the playoffs next year.
Because Calgary as well, on paper they should have been
that's an exceptional team, 100%.
First or second in the Pacific, yeah.
They have better defense and goaltending than Edmonton.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And then they have a slightly worse offense than Edmonton. Now, because you're seeing everyone in Edmonton pitching in now.
Oh, no, sorry. Let's not sugarcoat this. They have a significantly worse offense than Edmonton. Let's not sugarcoat this also. You have Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and Zach Hyman, all better than every single forward in Calgary. I would even argue, probably Nazem Kadri can go up there, Lindholm or whatever his name is.
Yeah,
but then you have, I don't know, I'd take Kane over, 3/4 of that. So, I think Kane's, in their minimum, their second line, if not on their first line in Calgary. No, this Oilers forward group is elite and significantly better than every other one in the league right now. They are.
Maybe not everyone in the
statistically, the Oilers forwards, the Oilers have scored more goals than every team in the NHL.
Yeah, because they have McDavid. He has 60.
But that's the thing. You have to include McDavid when you talk about the forward groups. You exclude McDavid and Draisaitl, yeah, we're maybe middle of the pack. But you include Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid, the Oilers' forward group is the best in the league. There's zero question about that. Our bottom six is contributing now as well. Maybe our bottom six isn't as good, but actually, the statistics show that our bottom six is in the top 5 in the entire league. So if our bottom six is in the top 5 of the entire NHL in production and in play, our top line is producing ungodly numbers not seen since the days of Gretzky and Lemieux. And our second line is freaking Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Zach Hyman putting up 80 and almost 190 points respectively. How are we not the best forward group in the entire NHL?
Yeah. It's just... I'm just, like, thinking back to, like, the last, like, couple games where we, like, barely...
Fine, fair point. We barely beat these teams. 100% very fair point. But you look at the whole course of an entire season, who is significantly better? It's the Oilers. It's the forwards for the Oilers are nothing short of superstar elite groups that we have right now. Our issues are defense and our goaltending.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, it's just, like... With that offense, like, I don't know why we're only third in the Pacific with only, like, 91 points.
Because our defense and our goaltending has been subpar at best.
Yeah.
Our defense has gotten better recently, but we need Nurse and Ceci and Kulak to step up the way that they did last year's playoffs, because the three of them were exceptional last year's playoffs.
And then Jack Campbell, I don't know what happened.
Jack Campbell is just not going to be Jack Campbell. Like, he's not happening this season. We have to accept that. And Stuart Skinner, as long as he plays 9-10 save percentage hockey, we're winning.
Yeah.
That's all we need. The Oilers only need a 9-10 save percentage to make it to win games. That's it. Because our offense is going to, like, in the playoffs we scored less, I understand. There's less power play goals. But what we've been doing is scoring while not on the power play recently, and that's been huge.
That's been really huge, yeah.
We're the number one team with shorthanded goals in the entire league as well. We're the number one power play unit. Our penalty kill does not do very well. I think we're like middle of the table, if not lower middle of the pack. Our issue is the goaltending and the defense. And I think it's realistic to I don't think it's realistic to expect them to do exactly how they did last year. But I do think it's reasonable to expect that Darnell Nurse will at least elevate his game slightly compared to what he's been doing this year. Like, he's gearing up for the playoffs. He played better in the playoffs than he did in the regular season last year as well. So we're hoping for that, obviously. But our defensive core of Nurse, Ekholm, and then CC Bouchard. CC's not the top pairing defenseman, let's not kid ourselves, but Ekholm and Bouchard is our top pairing now. Nurse and CC is our second pairing. CC is a top 4 defenseman in most
teams.
Most teams. He's just defensively sound. He's made a couple stupid mistakes throughout the season, and he's absolutely has not been himself this year. And then our third pairing of Kulak and Desharnais. Kulak's a legit NHL defenseman. Legit. He would be a top 4 in like a handful of teams in this league. Actually, he'd be the number 1 defenseman in Arizona. He would be a top pairing defenseman in Chicago.
Yeah. It's just... Right? I don't know why, like... We can't... Like, why they can't have just the defense just focus on playing defense instead of trying to contribute. If we have, like you said, that elite number 1 offense. It's like, sure, if you have a chance, if you have a wide open shot, yeah, take it. But, like, I don't know why they can't just, like, focus on just playing more defensively and round out your game, especially for Nurse and Bouchard. Because Nurse is still decently young and Bouchard is young. So why can't they just like focus on just being a two-way defenseman instead of more of an offensive defenseman?
Our biggest issue is the whole team defense. I don't think we can put it just on the defense.
Well, no, yeah.
Like Nurse and Ceci and Bouchard have been trying to do too much. So they go up to do the offense because they're like, oh, we need to outscore our mistakes because we're going to make a ton of mistakes going back. Like you just said earlier today, Kane was at fault for the overtime goal against. That's not a defender's fault.
No.
That's Kane's fault. Right? There's been multiple times where you've seen like lazy back checking from Draisaitl that resulted in a goal. Or Kane actually made another mistake the other day in a power play goal against Arizona. He forechecked way too high, and then they had a 5-on-3 until Kane got back, and then they ended up scoring right away, right before Kane got back. Like, I'm not trying to call out Kane by any means, but it's forwards are the issue of not defending properly as well. Right? But that's something with like Toronto's forwards, in my opinion, are better defensively. Yeah. Their D-core isn't that great, but their forwards are defending significantly better. And honestly, I would take the Oilers goalies over the Leafs goalies, but the Leafs goalies are doing better because they're playing a better
everyone's playing
system and structure and everything. Yeah. Right? So, although I would take Matt Murray over any one of the Oilers goalies from like 2 years ago.
But I agree. Yeah,
I'll go with I'll do one last thing. We'll finish this. We can finish off with this if we want. Actually, we need to do the Ben Stelter Performer of the Week.
And I also have some like wrestling news too, because WrestleMania is coming up too.
So. Okay, cool. So we'll do wrestling and then we'll do Ben Stelter. Yeah. And this one is my disappointment was Ottawa. I thought Ottawa would at least be pushing for a playoff spot.
That's true too. Yeah.
I thought they were a much better team.
Like I guess we kind of saw it with like their defense and their goaltending, but
I thought Cam Talbot and what's his face were going to be a good tandem together, but they were Forsberg? All Forsberg and Talbot. They were injured at I don't know the exact numbers, but it wouldn't surprise me that it was like less than 15 games where the both of them were healthy playing with each other. I wouldn't be together, surprised. Yeah. With the 1A, 1B kind of thing. I wouldn't be surprised if it was like 15 games at most. But all right, wrestling news.
Okay, so there's two things that are happening, like since the last episode. One, there's two Canadian wrestlers in WWE that are going for the tag team championships in basically WrestleMania, which is, I would say, like, let's make it like Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals, like that big of a show. And because of Sami Zayn, or one of them is Sami Zayn, who was part of this storyline that's been probably like the best wrestling storyline throughout the year out of all like the promotions. And then Kevin Owens, who's another Canadian wrestler, who's also pretty big in that storyline too. Like I said, they're going for the tag team championships, and it looks like, from what I'm seeing every week on WWE Raw and SmackDown, that they might actually win it. So it might actually be huge for I guess Canadian fans and for just fans in general. And also in another promotion, there's this WWE Hall of Famer who's wrestling in another promotion, who's calling out hockey players for being like fake tough guys.
Oh yeah, Georges Laraque.
And then Georges Laraque piped up, and everyone's like, to this wrestler, his name is Bully Ray. They're like, dude, Georges Laraque might actually like kill you, kind of thing.
Seriously?
Well, obviously, it's like it's pretty obvious that it was for heat. It was for like to get the reactions of fans and everything, but like I just saw like in the Twitter threads where they're like, dude, just don't, because Georges Laraque is actually a really mean dude, but he's like the nicest guy ever, kind of thing. So
yeah, Georges Laraque would kill him. I'm sorry, but hockey fights is more real than whatever fight that guy was doing.
Yeah, but it was just a little funny, like, that I saw like the past like couple days where everyone's like on like Georges Laraque's side. Former Oiler too, so it was pretty funny to see.
Oilers legend is what we can actually call him.
Oilers legend.
Genuine Oilers legend.
Should be in like the Ring of Honor or whatever.
Seriously,
it's called.
Hopefully soon.
He was definitely a fan favorite, that's 100%
for sure. 100% he was, yeah. Anything else in wrestling?
Not that I remember, no. It was just those two stories that were pretty big in the last couple of weeks.
Cool. One thing you and I forgot to mention. So Celso and I are in a fantasy hockey league with 10 of Celso's friends.
Yep.
And Celso and I are both currently in the semifinals, in different semifinals.
Semifinal matches.
Yeah. And I currently have a 34-point lead heading into today's final day. and Celso, I think, give
like a 20
some point lead. So barring any catastrophe, Celso
somehow us getting like minus points.
Seriously. Well, I don't have a goalie playing today, so I have no way of getting minus points, which is fantastic.
That's true. I have one, but it's Freddie Anderson, so it should be fun.
You're fine. So barring any form of catastrophe, Celso and I will be in the finals of our fantasy hockey matchup, or fantasy hockey league. Starting tomorrow, Monday. So if anybody from the fantasy league is listening, maybe you should start listening to learn more about hockey and get to our level. So
so cruel, Victor. So cruel.
No, man. They wouldn't make trades with me. Two of the guys I liked because they made trades with me all the time, and they were fun trades. I just like throwing random names out and just getting guys back. But one guy wanted like the equivalent of like he wanted to he wanted to give me Podkolzin for Shesterkin 1-for-1. I'm like, no, like this is the stupidest thing I've seen in my entire life.
I think I know who he is, and he just does bad trades just to
rile you up.
Right? Yeah, basically.
It worked. Good for him. It worked. What was I gonna say? The Vasilevsky trade still pisses me off.
Oh yeah, no, it's weird because I don't think anyone has been getting the notifications of the trades because I haven't gotten any notifications since after the first 2 months of the fantasy season. And yeah, like then somehow like I see like some random player on another person's team that wasn't there last time, and I'm like, what the heck? Where did he get that guy? Yeah, I haven't been getting any notifications.
There was a Draisaitl trade that was actually, I thought, a fair trade. It was 5 guys for Draisaitl, pretty much, and it was a balanced trade, like similar to how you and our trade went.
Yeah,
it was a 5 for 3. I got the 3 better players, but you got more depth in your trade. Which helped
me
both of
get
us
into the playoffs, yeah.
And it helped me, get to the point where I am as well. Like, I finished second comfortably. So.
And then I just randomly got better and dropped everybody.
Yeah, hilarious.
From that trade.
Hilarious. But, anyways, Ben Stelter, Performer of the Week. Do you have anybody in mind?
Honestly, kind of a cop-out, but McDavid. Like, he finally reached 60, which was, like, 1 game less than Matthews did last year. And a cooler goal, too. Because I think Matthews was an empty net goal, and McDavid was the... Did you see it, though?
Yeah, good thing it didn't break his stick.
I know, but it was so hilarious. Just, you would see, like, often, like, off-screen, just bang! Bang, and then he circles around and then does the same move and scores. That's
so funny.
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, McDavid getting to 60 and then just still going crazy with getting so many points. Like, it has to be McDavid for Performer of the Week.
For me, I'll go with Mackenzie Hughes. Making it to the quarterfinals in the Dell match play, beating some big names, getting past Max Homa, getting out of his group nonetheless as a 50-something ranked or 40-something ranked player in the tournament. So, quarterfinals, he gets a nice payday. I think it's like $400 to $500K or
that's
$300K. Yeah, he got himself a nice payday just making it to the quarters and taking Sam Burns to where he took him too. He had a little bit of a collapse. He started 2 up through 2, and then he just didn't regain it from there. He just pretty much either tied or lost every hole after. So, but still doesn't take away from the fact that he beat Max Homa very comfortably, 3 up with 2 to play. So he didn't even play the full 18 a few different times this week. So Mackenzie Hughes for me was the Performer of the Week, all because you took Connor McDavid, but Ben Stelter's second best friend. His best friend was his father. So
yeah. His third best friend was Mickey Mouse. He is Mickey Mouse though.
Fair enough. Anyways, that's everything for us this week. I'm in town next week.
So we're gonna have an episode next week.
We will have episode 51, barring any catastrophe.
Yeah.
Enjoy your April Fools on Saturday, folks.
Oh, yeah.
This upcoming Saturday is April Fool's Day.
We're not going to make a joke. We're not going to pull a prank.
Well, you might not. I won't do it on this. Well, I will be pulling many pranks throughout the day. It is my Easter. It's my holiday. It's my Christmas. It's everything. I love April Fools.
Oh.
So, anyways. Thank you, everybody, for listening to episode 50 of the Canas podcast. Tune in next week for episode 51.
Yes. See you later.